today? This is Amy again for our third day of Yoga for Kids with Amy. And thank you once again, Mr. Nunn, for having me here. I'm really enjoying my week, spending time back home with my family, and I hope that you guys are having a good time with your families too. So today we're going to move into learning a couple new things about yoga. We will start with the beginning, and then I'm going to add a couple new ideas. But let's start how we did the other 2 days. Get yourself very comfortable. Remember, you can have your legs crossed like this, or nice and close and tied in. And then remember, we place our hands on our knees, and we just push our hands on our knees and stretch our spines long. You can move a little bit back and forth until you feel really comfortable. And just look down for a second and see this little triangle you created. You've got your base, and then look up, spine nice and long. And just remember how we practice closing our eyes for a moment. And just take a breath with your eyes closed. And then open your eyes. And let's do that again. Close your eyes. And maybe notice any warm feelings around your heart. Just notice how you're feeling. Open your eyes once more. And then let's bring our attention right to our belly. Do you remember the 3 B's? We're going to go back to reminding you why yoga is so helpful for us. When we connect, coordinate, work our body, breath, and brain together, we end up feeling better. So take your hands right on your belly. And then this time actually close your eyes today, maybe if you'd like to doing this. You can always peek if you want to, but just try keeping your eyes closed. And now feel your hands touching your belly. And then take a big inhalation, just like a big balloon is blowing up in your belly. And then exhale through the mouth. Let's try that again. Inhale, your belly gets nice and big. Exhale through the mouth. Okay, one more time, and this time we're going to hold for a count of 2. If you want to open your eyes, you can do that too. You can just practice with eyes open or closed. Let's inhale, belly gets nice and big. Hold your breath. 1, 2, exhale through the mouth. Super. Okay, are you feeling better? You're warmed up, you're calmer. Sometimes this is a nice little trick. You know, if you're having a moment ever, like sometimes when you feel like really busy and everything and you want to calm yourself down, just put your hands on your belly. Take a deep breath and exhale through the mouth. And that probably will help you feel a lot better. Okay, so we're going to do a little review of what we've learned for the past 2 days. And then we're going to add a couple new things. So as we've done the past 2 days, let's come and get to all 4s. Okay? And do you remember what pose this is? Yes, you're right. That's table. Okay, now you're in table. And then we like to stretch our leg out, move back and forth. And then you can actually shake the leg out too. And let's do the other leg. Stretch the leg out, moving back and forth. That kind of wakes up your feet too. And now once you're here, we're going to go back to our cat-cows so we can have a nice warm spine. So do you remember what we do? We inhale, looking up. We exhale, look back to our belly button. Inhale, look up to the sky. Exhale, belly button. If you want to add those funny sounds, you can add the moo, meow, moo, meow. So sometimes it makes it fun to add those silly sounds. Now, once you've done this, we're going to come back and just sit right back on our heels. So I can introduce you to the 2 other things we're going to work on today. So yesterday you learned all about forward folds, which help to calm your mind. And you also learned about back bends or heart openers, which make you feel good, more awake. So today we're going to work on balances and twists. So balances are really good for helping your mind get very focused, for concentrating. And then twists are kind of a nice way to help twist out any jitters, any excess energy. So both of these really help you come and focus, all right? So let's get back to all fours. And we're gonna move through the couple poses we learned yesterday. And then we're gonna push our bottom back and just lift up to our down dog. Remember, this is our forward fold. And then we're gonna roll forwards and either come to your knees or stay in our plank position. And you bend your elbows, come all the way down. And we're gonna do cobra. Just this little back bend here. And then let's push ourselves back. And then push yourself onto your knees and up to your down dog again. And we're gonna do that one more time, just as a reminder. Roll like a wave into your plank. This time I'll do knees on the ground just to see the difference. Bend your elbows, come all the way down, and roll up to your little cobra again. Super. Come here, push up, and we're gonna come to our child's pose. Remember, this is another forward fold. Knees nice and wide, arms stretched long, place your forehead on the earth. And just maybe keep your eyes closed here for a moment. And with your eyes closed, just notice that your body is touching the ground, your hands are touching the ground, your forehead, your knees, and then bring your brain, just notice how your brain is feeling, and then start to notice how your belly's feeling. And now you can notice that your belly's actually moving. Remember, you take that inhale, it's getting bigger just like a balloon, and exhale, it gets smaller. And then you notice that maybe you're a little calmer because your breath that's moving in and out of you, and your mind, which is your brain, and your body is all connected. Okay, you got that? Super. Now, let's move all the way back up, and we're gonna sit back on our buttocks for a moment. And let's do our rainbows. Okay, you ready? Take your fingers wide. Inhale all the way up. High five. Come back down. Inhale all the way up. High five. Let's do another one. Inhale all the way up. High five. And on the last one, we're going to inhale all the way up. High five. Keep your hands together like this. And then bring them all the way down to your heart. Do you remember what this position is? Yes, that's our namaste we'll do at the end of the practice. But just to remind yourself about it. Okay, let's sit down now. And then we're gonna work on our first balance. So you're gonna find this very, very fun, I think. So for our first balance, we're gonna come up to our knees and push ourselves all the way back up to down dog. And then we're gonna walk our feet to our hands. So walk your feet all the way nice and slowly. And then you're gonna bend your knees as much as you can. Bend your knees all the way, release your head. And then you're gonna push your feet into the earth and kind of roll your back all the way up to standing. Yay, so this is our first time we're gonna do standing poses. And we thought it'd be great to begin with a balance. Won't that be fun? So one of my favorite poses to do is tree pose. So you can see back here, we have a wonderful tree for the holidays with Mr. Nunn. And I thought you would like to just have this as a backdrop. So we're gonna pretend we are trees. Will this be fun? Okay, so to be a tree, what do you need? You need roots, right? Because the roots are what go into the earth. So what I want you to do is I want to look down at your feet for a second and just notice how they are. Sometimes our feet are like wide, sometimes they're turned in. I want to see if you can make your legs really straight, and feet are going to be parallel to one another, kind of like you have two sticks.
standing next to each other, right? Okay, so now look up. Your feet are nice and parallel. Now, in your left foot, I want you to imagine that you have roots from your foot going down into the earth. And that's making you so strong. And then you're going to take your right foot, and to start, you're just going to put your heel next to your leg and your toes on the ground, okay? Now this is the first, there's going to be 3 levels of tree, okay? This is your first option here. Now, if you feel you're pretty good in your balance there, you can try putting your foot right on your calf. And now you notice you're on one foot. But because you've got your roots going down, you're nice and strong. Now, if you want to go for the challenge, you're going to grab your ankle and bring your foot not on top of the knee, but above the knee, right into your thigh. We don't want to put it on the knee because that's what we call a joint. It's a bendy part of the body that if you push into it, you could hurt it. So either keep on the calf or all the way up to the thigh. And now you realize you've already been balancing a lot. So let's place our heart back to the center. And then we're going to use our breath. We're going to inhale our arms all the way up. And then exhale wide with your branches. And now you can imagine that your arms are branches, and at the tips of your fingers you have leaves. And these leaves are getting all the sunshine that are coming down into your arms, and you feel nice and strong. Super. And once you have enough, you can slowly bring your hands back together and bring them down to your heart. Take your knee forwards and let it down, and then just shake out your leg. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing to do in yoga. So you've done one side, and we want to do the other, but we're actually going to stop for a moment and see what happens in between. So find your feet parallel again, right? So the right one is next to parallel is when 2 lines are not touching, but they are exactly running the same as the other, okay? Now place your hands on your belly, okay? And come back to your belly breath. Exhale through your mouth and close your eyes. And then I want you to just pay attention to your left leg and pay attention to your right leg. And just notice if they feel any different. Because you were on top of one, you were using your left leg as your trunk. Maybe your right leg feels a little lighter. And then open your eyes and let's switch to the other side. So again, now you pretend there's roots growing down from your foot into the earth on your right leg. And then take your left foot, position 1, position 2 on the calf, or position 3 up to the thigh. And once you have this balance, and you know, some days I have less balance than others, right? So if today it doesn't want to go there, that's okay. Maybe tomorrow it will. And then place your hands again at your heart and really feel the roots growing into the earth. And then what do the roots do? They take up the nutrients. The nutrients are like the food and stuff that's in the earth, and they draw it up into the foot, up into the leg, all the way up to where your hands are. And then you inhale, bring those hands all the way up to the sky, and then exhale, open your branches again. You can even wiggle your fingers here. And if you feel really good, you can maybe do a little back bend, just a little bit, just from your shoulders back. Super. Then bring your hands back down to your heart. Bring your knee around and release and shake the legs out. Okay, kids, great. You did your first balance. Did you have fun with that one? That's a really good one, right? So tree pose is one of my favorite balances, and there are many other ones we can do. And sometimes it's nice to try something that seems simple, but it's harder than you think. So there's this one balance where you're going to put your feet together, okay? So look down at your feet. Now they're touching each other. You're going to put your hands on your hips. You're going to bend your knees a little bit, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to balance on our toes, so we're just going to lift up our heels. You see how this is a balance too, right? but we're gonna make it a little trickier, okay? Now place your hands on your heart in this position, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift your arms all the way up and start to straighten your legs, but keep the heels up, bring the heels together, and try to imagine that your tops of your fingers are right in a straight line all the way down to the earth. Super. Okay, stay up on your heels. Now take your hands wide. Wide. Woo. And then slowly come back down. Okay, that's a super one. All right, now that's our second balance. And our third balance is gonna be our super duper tricky one, but we're gonna try it. It's called eagle pose. Are you ready for this one? So the fun thing about this one is this combines the two things we are gonna do today. It's both a balance and it's a twist, okay? So for eagle pose, I want you to bend your knees, okay? Just like we did before, be on both feet. Feet are parallel, so look for a minute. Place your hands on your hips. Okay, now, the first balance is just lift up your right leg a little bit, okay? Now, if you can, lift your right leg all the way and you're gonna cross it over the left. Mr. Nunn just looked at me and is wondering what we are doing. Okay, so this is good, right? Now, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your arms wide, right? Like you're gonna fly. But have you ever noticed how sometimes eagles take their wings and they bring them in like this? And then you're gonna take your left arm on top of the right. Oh, and we got like almost like pretzel arms, right? But what they are, they're the eagle's wings that have come in. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open our arms wide and we're gonna fly like an eagle. Woo! That was hard, so I am so happy that you tried that. And that's one that takes a lot of practice. So today, if all you did is lifted up the leg, that's fine too, okay? But we can try the other side. Are you ready? Okay, so let's go on to our right leg. So here comes the twist. We're gonna lift that knee as high as you can. It helps when it's higher and just bring it on top, okay? Now this is a funny balance and sometimes you're gonna be like this. Woo. Maybe just keep your hands on your hips if that helps. And this may be enough for you. But if you want to go for it, take your arms wide so the eagle wings are spread wide, right? And now you're going to take your arm on top. The opposite arm comes on top. And it doesn't really matter. If you do one or the other, don't worry. Just whatever feels good, okay? Now the wings have come in. And then all of a sudden, the eagle opens its wings and it flies. Oh, you did it, yay, okay. So now we've done, what was our first one? Tree pose. And then we did, there isn't really a name to that one, so maybe you all can come up with a name for that pose. So I want you to think about the one we did here, where we lifted up and we got all the way, maybe it's almost like a candle, and maybe you can come up with your own name for this pose. And if you want to try, you can maybe send a name on your computer. Maybe your mom and dad can help you do that. And send a name that you think you would like to call this to Mr. Nunn. So I'm really curious to see what you come up with that. And then the last one we did was our eagle pose. And the eagle pose is both a balance on one leg and a twist. Okay, so now maybe you feel a little tired because those are harder ones, right? Balances are hard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back down to the earth. So we come to the top of the mat, our yoga mat, or if you're on the carpet, that's fine too. And take your arms wide, just like those eagle arms. And you're gonna inhale up just like you're taking your rainbow, and maybe give yourself another high five. And then bring your hands down to your heart. And then you're gonna bend your knees and come all the way down with your fingers to the ground. And then you're gonna step your right foot to the mat and your left foot and come back to your tabletop. Okay, so we're here in tabletop, and then this is kind of a fun thing we're gonna do. Just lift up your
And actually you realize you're doing a balance a little bit here too. And then crisscross one foot over the other, and then come and sit back. Woo, nice, nice kids. Okay, so now we're gonna take our legs nice and straight in front of us. Okay, and then you can just bounce the legs a little bit, relax them. That feels good, right? So now we're gonna do another twist. Okay, so for this twist, what you're gonna do is bend your right knee, and then just grab your right ankle, put it over your left. Okay, this may be enough for you. You can just stay like that. But if you wanna try it, you can take the left foot and bring that left foot right under your right hip, okay? But you don't have to do this. This is a little bit harder. So do this or keep the legs straight. Now use your hands, and sometimes when we sit like this, we tend to curve our back. So we're gonna use our hands and lift our spine nice and tall. And remember your belly breath. Inhale, the belly gets big. Exhale, the balloon starts to let the air out. Just try that a couple times. And then we're gonna take a twist. So for our twist, you're gonna take your left elbow and put it around your right knee. And you know, sometimes I mess up the left and the right. If that happens, don't worry about it. You can always come back and look at the video and kind of copy what I'm doing, and then you learn how it feels for yourself in your body. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this right arm and lift it way up to the sky and make a big circle behind me. And then I'm gonna do a little twist. So how we twist is we keep our hips facing front. And then remember where your belly button is? So think about taking a twist from your belly button all the way back, and then the last thing that comes is your neck, and you look towards your right shoulder. Now you can keep your eyes open, or again, you can practice this closing your eyes. Take a couple breaths here and just see how it feels to be in a twist. And then you can open your eyes and come all the way back to facing front. Grab your right knee, lift it up, and then take the left leg out and straighten your legs once again. That'll probably feel pretty good. And then I'm gonna turn around. You don't have to, but I'll turn around so we can do the other side. Okay, so this time we're gonna take our right leg, our right foot, no, opposite. We're gonna take our left one over our right leg. And again, you can keep the right leg straight, or if you wanna lift up and bring that right foot next to your left hip, this is a twist here. Hands here, and then take your right elbow around your left knee. Inhale, get your spine nice and long, your back nice and long from your bottom to the crown of your head. And then take this arm up to the sky and then let it come all the way back down behind you. Now, first you look forwards, and then you take that belly button, and the belly button starts to move left. And then the left shoulder moves back, and then your chin moves back to look at your left shoulder. And again, if it feels good, you can try closing your eyes and just notice how it feels different. And then you can inhale back to center, and then we'll take our legs in front of us, shake them out. And then we're gonna do one more thing before we finish our little practice. So let's take our hands to our knees and just roll ourselves back and slide all the way down onto our back, and just relax. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale, big balloon in the belly. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. And then take your feet now pretty wide. So they're still parallel, but if you're on a mat, they would be at the edge of your mat. And then you're gonna let your knees come together. And then you're gonna take your arms and look up at your arms straight. And then the arms are gonna come all the way wide onto the ground. And then turn your hands so the hands touch. And then what you're gonna do now is take your right knee and start to have that right knee move to the ground on the right. And then the left knee is kind of following. Keep your feet on the ground, just the knees are moving. And then you can turn your head to the left. So you look at your left hand, and what you're doing now is a twist on the ground. And you can notice that your left side feels a little stretchy here. And then remember your breath. We coordinate, so we work together. We inhale our knees back to center, and then we exhale our knees to the left side, and we turn our head to the right side. And here again, you can take a couple breaths. Maybe paying attention, is your belly getting bigger as you breathe? And then inhale your knees back to center. And then we're going to finish with our pose we did yesterday called Shavasana. And can you say that's a funny name? Shavasana. And it's a pose that we like to do to end our practice. So we get nice and relaxed, we lie on our back, and we keep our feet nice and wide and our toes turn out. Our hands are facing up, hands facing up. And then you can just close your eyes if it feels comfortable. You always can keep them open if you prefer, it's up to you. But if it feels good, keep your eyes closed and just come back to the feeling of the breath in the belly. And this time when you exhale, just keep the mouth closed. And just notice maybe that you feel more relaxed. You feel a little bit more quiet. Now you can just stay here for a couple more breaths. If you want to stay longer, you always can. It's sort of like you could almost take a little nap here. And once you're done, just place your feet on the ground and then bring your knees up to your chest. Come up and give yourself a big hug. Oh, it feels so nice to hug yourself, right? And then put your head down and just roll over to the side. And then when you're ready, you push your hand into the ground and you're going to come back up to our seated position, how we always like to finish class. And then we'll just bring our hands together in Namaste. And I thank you kids so much for coming to practice. And thank yourself for making the time. Thank your parents for helping you and all your friends who did this with you together. Namaste.